There's your Nissan starting lineup for the Mets. David Wright going to the All-Star game, named to replace Alfonso Soriano on the team, despite not winning the last player vote that was won by Corey Hart. Otherwise, same starting lineup pretty much for the Mets that they've been going with through this stretch.
Well, Aaron Cook, the All-Stars, had a couple games against the Mets. One a complete game, great effort. The other one, not so much. 12 hits in 7 innings, 6 runs.
Jose Reyes takes the first pitch strike.
A look at the defense brought to you by Toyota. Holiday in left field. Atkins at third base, probably the quietest. 313, 14 home runs, 54 RBIs in the big leagues. Saw Helton was there, only 23 extra base hits. And Iannetta, of course, 2 games under 500.
Andy Chavez on deck, and then David Wright here in the opening inning. Reyes sitting at even 300 right now. And he pulls one just foul. 1-2 to Jose. He now has 115 hits for the year. That's tied for second in the National League. 67 runs scored, tied for third in the league. And that on-base percentage has been coming up for the better part of 2 months now. 364 is as high as it's been all year. 2-2 from Cook.
Well, I know Keith mentioned before, Reyes should definitely be an all-star. It's just that when it comes to all-star, Washington, of course, their shortstop's got the most hits in the league. They need to have a representative. And that's why Christian Guzman will be in the game.
Well, you can argue that Miguel Tejada, although he got off to a very good start over the first 7 weeks, has not played well enough to be on the all-star team ahead of Reyes. 3-2 to Jose leading off. And he hits it in the air to center field. Tavares right there waiting for it. And that's the first out. So Reyes flies out, 1 away.
Well, that's an unusual thing you'll see against Aaron Cook. 60% of his outs come by way of the ground ball. 15 of his last 16 starts, he's at least induced 1 ground ball double play in those games.
Andy Chavez didn't start yesterday, back in the lineup today. He has been red hot over the last month. And he takes a strike. Well, with the news after the game yesterday that Moises Alou is going to be out for the season because of a torn hamstring, it certainly puts in a much more glaring spotlight the role of guys like Andy Chavez and Fernando Tatis manning those corner outfield spots right now, with Ryan Church on the disabled list and now Alou gone for the duration. Question is, can the Mets survive as is? Bunt by Chavez goes foul. 1-2.
Well, Moises Alou make you give up religion, won't it? I mean, the things that have happened to him his entire career.
Well, you feel horrible for him because you know how much he really wanted to play this year. You could just see it in his eyes the last time he got hurt. But you really have to wonder whether his career has come to an end now, and that's the saddest part of the whole thing, because he's still very capable of hitting. He just can't get on the field.
And for you guys out there that haven't gotten to know Moises, one of the class acts in baseball. Great to be around. Great leader. Winning ball player. Just injuries are going to mark his career more than his hitting well, and that's too bad.
Well, I said this for the last couple of years, and it's even more true now. If you give him back the years he's missed because of injury, he would have Hall of Fame numbers.
Absolutely.
2-2 to Chavez. And whenever he's been healthy throughout his career, Moises has been a superstar. Just has not had enough for those years. 2-2 to Endy. Inside, so Cook's got 3-2 to the first 2 hitters, just as Perez did before.
We get the pitcher-hitter numbers here before the game, and we laugh, and we're laughing only because it's funny. Every time it's versus another pitcher, Alou is 10 for 22, 5 for 7, always has the best average.
Andy grounds one sharply. Jason Nix, the rookie second baseman, throws him out, 2 away. So 2 up and 2 set aside, and now the new All-Star David Wright, who, when he went to bed last night, thought he had not made the All-Star team. This morning, he woke up. He had 4 messages on his machine from Omar Minaya saying there was urgent that David call him. David figured he had been traded, he said, only slightly jokingly. And then got the good news that he had been added to the team. And he said he was going to go over and thank Clint Hurdle, who was the manager of the All-Star team, for making him a part of it. Clint Barmas throws out right, and Cook throws a 1-2-3 first inning to match Oliver Perez. To the second we go with no score. He has 5 straight hits against Oliver Perez. That streak should come to an end as Andy Chavez, who catches everything, catches this one for the first out. Do you ever see a ball hit anywhere near Andy Chavez and not think he's going to catch the ball?
No. Well, the thing about Andy is that, you know, I don't think we appreciate him because we get to see him every day. But if you come to the ballpark, he will catch balls that people will be in the stands and go, boy, nice catch. But no one else on the team could get, other than maybe Beltran, of course, in center field. But he makes it look easy.
Chris Iannetta hitting number 5 in the order, and that'll tell you about how depleted the Rockies are right now, as Iannetta takes up and away.
Chris is one of those guys that they've been waiting for a couple of years for him to be the star they think he can be. He's hit a lot better this year than he has in the past.
And particularly against left-hand pitching. And he takes outside for ball 2. This is a test for Oliver in a lot of different ways. And Jerry Manuel was addressing it before the game today. Just strictly from a matchup standpoint, this Colorado team has a whole bunch of guys like Holiday and Atkins and Iannetta who kill left-handed pitching. But I think it's even more than that. I think it's a matter of being able to maintain the consistency in the games where the spotlight is not shining as bright.
Yeah.
You know, he was terrific in Game 7 of the League Championship Series. He's been great against the Yankees and the Phillies and the Braves. But it's those other games, the ones against the Nationals or the Marlins or the Pirates, those are the games that seem to give Oliver the most problem.
Well, 2 things. One, I think when he was challenged for his spot in the rotation, there was a sense of urgency. And I think that feeling that he had that night, 2 starts ago, that's the feeling he has to have every single time he goes out there. That sense of urgency that today's the most important day. If he does that, he'll be fine with the stuff he has.
2-2, and the slider misses, one of the few he's thrown early in this game. 3-2. Well, this is the first time since Oliver's been a Met that he's had back-to-back starts like this. At least 7 innings of 1 run or less, 2 starts in a row. 3-2, challenges him, and Iannetta grounds it foul. We were talking about this earlier, the Mets and Oliver against winning and losing teams. It's based on teams that have winning records right now, losing records right now, and it's stunning. You would expect it to be exactly the opposite.
Pitching down sometimes to the competition.
Check swing ground ball. Delgado ranges wide. Perez gets over to cover and beats Iannetta by half a step for the second out.
Well, that's very interesting. Check swing. Watch Oliver. Whoop, now I got to go. And that's good. Puts his head down, busts over there, makes the play just in front of Iannetta. Thank God he didn't get spiked there. You know, one of the other things they're going to do, Gary, I'll let you announce Mr. Baker coming to the plate.
Jeff Baker playing first base, filling in for the injured Todd Helton, who's on the disabled list with a back injury. Baker played some second base when the Mets were last in Denver. There's a strike.
I think one of the things Oliver has to do against right-handed lineup too is use and employ his split finger changeup. That's a pitch that runs down and away from right-handers. You can get some ground balls. We've seen him do that a couple of times against the Braves, especially Chipper Jones. You know, he becomes a 2-pitch pitcher. We talked about it with Jerry today when he was describing Aaron Heilman, who's almost reinvented himself as a pitcher because of that slider he's throwing now. Well, something that Oliver could use also.
1-1 to Baker. Swung and missed. I know this will shock you, but Ryan Howard just hit a home run.
He did? Is that his first this season?
28 now. That's at 4 in the last 3 games. He's just roaring hot going into the All-Star break.
What's he got now? 84 RBIs? 83? I mean, he could have 85 by the break. We got to call him up to the new league. In the wrong league.
1-2. Breaking ball in there for a call, strike 3. Baker down looking at the slider. Perez has his 3rd strikeout, and he's retired the first 6 Rockies. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. Beltran to lead off with no score. Carlos Beltran takes a strike. Carlos with 63 runs batted in. That number's been coming up. 65 runs scored. While his average is lower than he'd like it to be, quietly Beltran has put together a typical Carlos Beltran year. And quietly is exactly the way he does his business. At the plate, in the field, on the bases. Watch Carlos run with his incredibly long and fluid strides, and it's like watching a duck swim. There's appears to be no effort, but he's covering enormous amounts of ground. Tops that one foul back on the play.
Well, like Reyes and a few of the other Mets, I just marvel at their athleticism. I mean, you know, they're baseball players, but if you were evaluating them and when they were in their high school years, I'm sure you could look at them and say, boy, that's a good track guy. That could be a good basketball guy. Baseball and, of course, football are.
4th inning with no score. Clint Barmas will lead off against Oliver Perez. Barmas struck out his first time up. One of 3 strikeouts in the first 3 innings for Perez. Barmas takes ball 1. Clint Barmas missed 28 games on the disabled list with a sprained knee before coming back about 3 weeks ago. And he skips out of the way. 2-0. Perez behind 3-0. Oliver's walked 1. Matt Holliday and Garrett Atkins to follow. It would certainly behoove Perez not to walk Barmas in front of them. But he does. And so the Rockies have the leadoff man on.
Well, knowing the situation is really important for a hitter. Even before you hit the ball, you've got to know when you go up there that there's 2 outs. And if you have a shot, you take one to go for a double. Coming out of the box hard, he's watching Taveras, who goes after the ball, doesn't come up with any urgency, so says, yes, I'm going to proceed to second base, take a chance well paid off.
Great job by Reyes, but you have to wonder what Taveras is thinking. He knows it's Reyes. Ball 1 to Holliday, and that's 5 straight out of the strike zone for Perez.
You know, it's almost like when you're an infielder, one of the most important things to do is go over your mind when players are on the bases, all the different scenarios if the ball is hit to you. Well, you have to have those same kind of thoughts when you go up to the plate. Know the situation in case that kind of thing happens.
On the corner for a strike, 1-1. Holliday went down looking his first time up. I mean, the contrast is interesting because in the last inning, the last out, Taveras was the batter, and he hits a ground ball to second base, and Easley, understanding that Taveras can run the way he can, charges the ball in a way that he might not have if it was Matt Holliday running. Swung and missed, and it's 1-2.
Now, these are the things that you love to see out of your players, is intelligent thought while they're using their amazing talent. Reyes and Damion Easley got to be thinking, if the ball's hit hard, Holliday runs all right, but not great. We'll make sure we get the out and turn a double play. If it's someone like Taveras, then you got to have a more sense of urgency.
1-2, lifted in the air to left center field. Back goes Beltran. He's got room, and he makes the grab. Varmus back to first.
I'm glad you read those. I always pronounce it incorrectly. I grew up with Nissan. And you go Nissan, right?
That's very interesting.
Yeah, because I mean the Japanese pronunciation is Nissan.
Hit hard, right with time to turn two. Easley gets it away against the hard slide of Varmus. 5-4-3 on the double play. What do we have?
Oh, cheesesteak looks like.
Ooh, that looks good. David Wright leads off in the home fourth inning. David grounded to short his first time up. Ground balls are Aaron Cook's currency.
You know, I will say that it has to be the best of both worlds for the Mets and Wright. He becomes an all-star, but you know what? He gets to sleep in his own bed for 3 days. And I think that's a good thing. You know, he's not going to be on flights, going someplace else, having to fly to Cincinnati with the team to get there for the team on Thursday. I think it's best of both worlds. He'll get some rest that way. He said his parents are coming in this weekend. He's really excited.
David said it's 100 times more special for him that it's going to be in New York this time. Nice play by Varmus. Can he throw him out? He did. Wow, what a play by Clint Varmus. Not noted as a glove man, but he made a spectacular play there.
Well, he just lunged at it, almost fell off balance, and just fired a one-hop play that you would have seen 25 years ago on the AstroTurf in the National League. That was a common play. Eye on the ball, a little slip, acrobatic play. Beauty.
So 1 out and nobody on. Carlos Beltran takes ball 1.
You know, David Wright hits that ball with all that topspin, so it just picks up speed.
Beltran struck out his first time up, and he takes ball 2. Working him carefully. This is inside ball 3. Cook hasn't walked a batter. He averages just 2 walks per 9 innings, among the best figures in the league. And Beltran, who sometimes will swing 3-0, takes a strike there.
That's quite a lid.
Jason Nix fields the grounder, and there are 2 out.
I don't understand why Kaidi Tong hasn't aged a year and I look 104. What happened there?
She's amazing, isn't she?
She's been around forever.
She has. And she does a wonderful job.
Great.
Damion Easley takes a strike. Easley grounded out to third his first time up. One to Easley. No active pitcher has gotten a higher percentage of groundouts in his career than Aaron Cook. And that's 60% of his career outs on the ground. And if you're going to pitch at Coors Field, that's the way to go. Breaking ball flared into right field. A base hit for Easley. So that's the Mets' third hit of the game, and they've all come with 2 out and nobody on.
Well, this is a little slider. It's supposed to be the outside. Stays in. Not a hanger. Almost like a backup slider. Works back on the inside of the bat of Easley. Just strong enough to drop that into right field. Yeah, you get a smile when you get one hit get a hit like that.
So now Delgado, who doubled to right center his first time up. And they keep the overshift on against him. Carlos takes low and inside for ball 1. We talked before about the Rockies with Cook pitching. And here's Aaron Cook, who's 11-6. And the rest of the Rockies starters have won 16 games. So it's 11 from one pitcher, 16 from the other 4. So they are so dependent on winning when he starts. Grounded into the shift and a big hop for Nix. And so both pitchers apparently at the top of their game, both Cook and Perez matching zeros. Clint Barmas with the best defensive play of this game so far. We go to the 5th, still no score. 5th inning with no score. Chris Iannetta leads off against Oliver Perez. Iannetta grounded out to Delgado his first time up. It'll be Iannetta, then Jeff Baker and Brad Hopp for the Rockies here in the 5th. It's on the inside corner of strength. 0-2. 0-2 to Iannetta. Lifted foul off the right.
Well, Iannetta, one of the few ball players from Rhode Island. Billy Allman, of course, probably the most famous, right? Because he was a #1 pick in the San Diego Padres.
I'm trying to think about players from Rhode Island. There aren't that many.
No.
Just 0-2. Slider taken. Looks like players from Delaware.
That's right.
Delano DeShields is from Delaware.
Isn't there one now from Delaware? Ian Snell.
Good job. Yeah, you're right. Having his own problems. 1-2 and misses outside. 2-2 to Iannetta. Remember when those blue caps didn't have that orange button on top? 2-2. Got him. Fastball away. Perez gets him to chase. Strikeout number 4 for Oliver Perez.
Well, it's interesting. You know, he has the kind of electric stuff that Schneider's sitting inside, wants that pitch inside, but sometimes he doesn't have to hit the glove to be effective.
This week's Mets CW11 poll question is brought to you by NYPD Recruitment. Apply now for the next exam at NYPDRecruit.com. Which Met will win the most games after the All-Star break? Maine, Santana, or Perez? Log on to CW11.com to vote for next week's poll question. There's your answers to this week's poll question. Jeff Baker swings and fouls it back, and it's 1-1.
I'm just looking at the list of the players born in Rhode Island. Russ, our stage manager, was nice enough to pull it up. I guess, and this is a sad story because it hasn't worked out as well. Rocco Baldelli is from Rhode Island.
I didn't realize that. Anybody big time Major League history?
No, not the. I looked at the names. Didn't recognize anyone. I'm sure the people in Rhode Island probably will come up with a name, but
One of the best players in Rhode Island, best athletes, they play hockey. 1-2 on the inside. 2-2. It's in Woonsocket. Bishop Hendrickson.
Bishop Hendrickson. I think Hendrickson. Because I played with a guy at Yale who's a pitcher from there.
2-2 up and away. They win the state hockey title every year.
That's right.
Whichever one it is. 3-2 to Baker with 1 out. Line to right, over goes Chavez, and he picks it off. 2 down. Another great jump for Andy Chavez.
And you said it, Gary, the jump, the speed, the wherewithal to run to the right place. He picks a spot, he gets to it, and again, we talked about it earlier, didn't we? That's a play not many right fielders even get to. That's a double, 3 hops off the wall, and he makes it an out.
You know why it looks so easy? Because all you see is the end of the play.
Yeah.
But if you're able to watch from the crack of the bat watch the beginning of the play. That's where the difference is. As Brad Hopp swings and misses.
I watch Endy a lot because I'm trying to figure out how he does it as well as he does it. You'll see him. He'll anticipate where the ball is going to be pitched. He'll start moving in that direction.
Good breaking ball, and it's 0-2 to Hopp.
What I mean by that, if he's playing left field and his left-hander up and that ball's outside, he's going to start favoring towards the line because that's probably where the ball is going to be hit. Just amazing instincts for outfield play.
Fans starting to get into Perez's effort. 0-2 to Hopp. Up and away. 1-2. Oliver has walked 2. Those are the only 2 base runners the Rockies have had tonight.
Hit in the air to deep right field. Back goes Chavez onto the track, looking up, and it's out of here. Brad Hopp with the Rockies' first hit of the game, a home run, his 14th of the year, and Colorado takes a 1-0 lead.
Well, Brad Hopp just has some amazing powers for this Rockies. In the 3rd inning, he was struck out on a slider away. Perez went back to it, but this one stayed up in the strike zone. No tilt, no break. First run.
Well, there have been times when Hopp has struggled against lefties. He's hitting just .232 against lefties this year, but he got on this one.
This is a case of the last time he struck him out, he threw him a nasty breaking ball. And what happens to pitchers a lot is that they want to throw the next one even nastier, and that's when you throw a hanger.
So 1-0 Colorado. Jason Nix walked his first time up, and he fouls off the fastball, and it's 0-2.
And I guess I should explain that. What do I mean by that? It means that you throw a perfect one, and you say to yourself, boy, the next one's going to be harder, it's going to be more perfect, and it's going to break more. But what happens is you throw it too hard, and you don't allow it to break, so it just kind of spins up there. And once it spins up there, you ask any hitter, it's almost like it's been put on a tee.
Check swing. He held it in time. Chuck Merriweather with the call. 1-2. I mean, isn't it really the same thing with trying to throw your fastball too fast and taking the movement away?
Yeah, you try to throw too hard, fastball, the ball will straighten out. He knew right away. Just see that grimace as he let that pitch go. Sometimes you know it as soon as it comes out of your hand. You're like, oh, give me it back. I don't want it to go there.
And Nix goes down swinging to end the inning. 5 strikeouts for Oliver Perez, but the Rockies take the lead.
Mets down by a run as they come to bat in the 5th. Their red-hot offense has been held in check so far by Aaron Cook and Fernando Tatis, as red-hot as any of them. Swings and misses, 0-1. Tatis lifted a fly ball to right his first time up. Since the 24th of June, Tatis is hitting .429 in 42 at-bats.
Well, before tonight, in 22 starts he's had for the Mets, he's hit in 17 of them.
Grounded out to short for Barmes. An easier play this time. He throws out Tatis for the first out. So Cook's retired the leadoff hitter in 5 straight innings. In fact, he's retired the first 2 hitters in each of the first 4 innings and trying to do it again here against Brian Schneider. Schneider grounded out his first time up.
8 of his 13 outs on the ground, of course. Only 2 fly balls.
The Mets have scored 69 runs in their last 10 games. They really had only one poor offensive showing, and that was the first night in Philly.
And Schneider rips one into right field for a hit. Hopp gives ground to cut it off, and he bobbles the ball. That'll enable Schneider to head to second, and he makes it safely. Ryan was going to stop as Hopp did a good job giving ground because he knew that it was Schneider running, but then he bobbled the ball.
Well, this play allows Schneider to go to second, but the only reason Schneider was able to go to second is that he never assumed that Hopp was going to catch it cleanly. Pounding out of the box, he looks at it, recognizes the play. A lot of runners you'll see, they break it down where they can never regroup and go. Schneider always kept his feet moving. Nice play.
It's not about how fast you are. It's about running the bases the right way. And it's amazing because you look at this game and it gives you a textbook education on what has changed about this team. You've now seen it 3 times in the last 4 innings. Perez hits it to the right side. Nicely done. That'll get Schneider over to third. But now there are 2 out. Reyes will try and get him in. That's going to run to third base for the first time. Reyes hustled a double his last time up. Is that a barbecue, or do we have a situation?
Do we have a situation? It's Apollo 18 taking off there.
Remember during didn't we have a rain delay where we had a car fire?
Yeah, we did. It was that electrical storm.
Right. Jose with 40 runs batted in out of the leadoff spot. Schneider at third and 2 down. And take it for ball 1. That's the situation. That's the car fire we had during the rain delay a month ago. That was a real situation. We have a new sign man.
Yeah, he's totally into it with Ed Kranepool's jersey.
We'll call him son of Carl Earhart.
I've seen him on the road too.
And Reyes takes the sinker low, 2-0. Reyes has done a great job with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, and so has this entire team over the last week or so. Andy Chavez on deck.
Key here though, 2-0, you got him in your sights. Got to make him get the ball up.
And there's a strike. 2-1.
That's a good take there. There's nothing you can really do with that pitch. That's another ground ball. Make him get it up. Make him get it middle of the plate in.
First baseman Baker was playing in when this at bat began. Now he's moved most of the way back. So if Reyes wanted to think about dragging one, he could do that. Two-one. Grounded past Baker into right field, base hit, and that ties the game. Schneider comes in to score, and the Mets get even. Reyes with his 41st run batted in of the season.
Well, excellent job by Jose Reyes at hustling into second for Schneider. Waited for that ball. That's middle of the plate in, with Baker halfway, not all the way back, and Nick's playing, shading Reyes up the middle, opens up that big hole. But just great identification of a pitch that you can hit by Jose Reyes.
Another big 2-out RBI hit for this Mets team as they try for their 7th straight win. Here's Chavez. Let's see if Reyes tries to swipe one against a guy who's tough to run against. Here's a strike. Opposing base stealers are just 4 out of 8 with Cook on the mound this year. If I recall, he had not given up a stolen base all season until the Mets faced him the last time back in late June.
And with Ionetta catching, the team, Colorado Rockies, are only 2 games under 500, but he's only thrown out of 4 out of 24.
Reyes doesn't have his biggest lead, but he's in running position. And you notice lately, we've been talking a lot about base running. Earlier in the season, there were times when Reyes was in running position, and there were times when he was much more straight up and down, not looking like he was ready to run. Now, it appears as though when he gets to first, he's always in running position.
And it's really important to do that, because you never let the other team know when you're going to go, because you only have one way, and that is the way that always looks like you're going to run. That's the key. If you're standing on your heels, standing straight up and down, if I'm a pitcher, I can see that with my peripheral vision. I can say, oh, Jose's not running on this pitch. Beautiful. Go get the hitter.
Let's see if he goes on 0-2 to Chavez. Not going, and Chavez fouls it off.
This is not a bad pitch to run. I don't usually say this, but 0-2, you're almost protecting your hitter, Chavez. And the worst thing that happens is you get thrown out. If you get thrown out, you got a leadoff hitter, and Chavez leading off the next inning before right.
Reyes with 32 steals this year, tied for 3rd in the National League. He's, by the way, is just 15 steals away from Mookie Wilson's career Mets stolen base record. He's already tied Mookie's Mets career triple record. Sorry, Mookie.
It's all right. He's not forgotten. Ever.
Ever. Chavez holds the swing. Third base umpire Darrell Cousins says no swing, 1-2. Not only did the Mets get a big 2-out hit, they responded right after the Rockies broke the ice. And if you're Aaron Cook, that's the last thing you wanted to have happen. But the Mets taking advantage of the error by Hop in right field. 1-2, and then he takes it high, 2-2.
I think this is a good pitch to run on. 2-2, 2 outs. He's just thrown 2 high fastballs at Chavez. You can guess along with the pitcher. Think to yourself that probably a slider down. Love to run on breaking balls if you're a base stealer.
Not going, hit slowly.
Over goes Atkins to cut in front, spin around, not in time. Well, they tell the third baseman to field anything he can, but that's one that Atkins probably would have been better off leaving alone.
You're right, Gary, with that call. Barmes probably had that in his back pocket, but hit in such a place that he does make the play. See, Barmes though would have been on the backhand. It would have been a tough play for him also. Just hit in the proper place for Chavez. Mets have a late rally.
So the third hit of the inning as Andy just beat it. Now David Wright will come up with 2 men on. And every possibility of a double steal, and so Iannetta goes out in front of the plate to give signals to the infield.
Well, this is where I like to see David, the second baseman, because the shortstop's playing David the pole. Second baseman shading up the middle to hold Reyes close to second. Love to see him shoot this ball to the right side, especially with a sinker ball pitcher. Anything down, he can inside out it to right field.
And David swings and fouls the first pitch back. I know teams probably wouldn't do this, but the way David can go the other way, you'd almost be inclined to have that shortstop look in at the runner at second and let Nix close down that hole on the right side a little bit.
Or at least start in the position where Reyes can say, oh, both of these guys, either of these guys could come behind me, so I've got to be wary of that, and then inch back to your position.
But they've got Barmes so far over in the hole at short, no chance for him to be any menace. Oh, 0-1 to right.
Hit hard toward that hole. Barmes stops it, makes the long throw right on target. Good thing they had him playing there. Boy, Barmes with his second terrific play against David Wright. He got him going up the middle the last time. This time Barmes with a pretty play going to his right. And he throws out David Wright to end the inning. Mets get even though. The run is earned. Mets are tied with the Rockies at 1.
Two pitches through the first 5 innings for all of them. Cook fouls it off. Well, the Diamondbacks have tied up the Phillies 1-1. Ryan Howard had homered earlier. Chad Tracy an RBI for the Arizona run. Doug Davis against Kyle Kendrick in that game. That's a game and a half behind the Phillies starting play tonight. Tied with the Marlins, who have hung tough even though they were missing Dan Uggla for the better part of 2 weeks. Uggla's back now, and Florida's still there, tied with the Mets, a game and a half behind the Phils.
Well, they got a big home run to win it from Hanley Ramirez, who's picked it up a notch, and they got a home run from an unlikely hero from AAA, John Baker, a catcher.
In there for a call strike 3. Cook down looking. 7 strikeouts now for Oliver Perez. Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
You know, guys, we've talked a lot about Oliver Perez in the last couple of starts, especially, and since Dan Worthen took over, and changes he's made, different spots in the rubber, different delivery, things like that. But you know, adding to it, I had a long conversation with him the other day, and he's just in such a great comfort zone right now. And he said it's a combination of everything. He said, you know, when I came here from Pittsburgh, Rick Peterson was a humongous help. But he said it got to the point where I just wasn't going anywhere, and all I kept thinking about was mechanics. And he said, you know, it was really my fault. I never really spoke up and gave my opinion of what I thought I should do differently either. And when the change was made, he said, I just felt like I should speak up. So, of course, Dan gave his input. Oliver spoke up. And, of course, there was the input from Pedro Martinez, too. Pedro also told him, hey, you got to keep your chin at the home plate so you can see where you're throwing. And Ollie said that his rock, he actually took a little bit from Pedro. That's where he kind of got the idea. And then, of course, him and Dan Worthen went over that. So it's really been a combination of everything. But he says timing had a lot to do with it. Just the timing of the move with Rick going out and Dan coming in, his comfort level, just being able to express himself to Dan, and then of course Dan working in his ideas as well. But I can tell you this, guys, he is so comfortable, so confident right now. Obviously it's showing for the third straight timeout.
I love the way Jerry Manuel expressed it today. He says Oliver has a love affair with the mound again. Said he was so uncomfortable, and now he's found his comfort zone again, and it's made all the difference. Been going out there 2 and 3 times between starts to work on this new delivery. Ball 4 and Taveras is on, and that's not going to help Perez's cause to put the league's leading base stealer aboard. And here's the old motion and the new motion.
Old on the left, not looking at the plate, really circles around. Now that little bow to the plate, which gets him thinking, I'm going in a straight line, back and through. Higher leg kick before, more stationary leg kick, taking away some of those moving parts. But that little, I don't know, Tibetan bow, like an homage to the strike zone. I'm coming to see you. Just, I love to see that.
And there's also another piece that I don't know if it was intended, but he's in better fielding position now than he was before.
Oh, he was like a whirling dervish out there before, and now I think if he's in a good fielding position, it means that he is in a good position. He has balance. And balance is the key, because you have a loaded position. Every pitcher has one. Some guys have a flow to their loaded position. Oliver has that. Some are more short arm, like Billy Wagner, where they really, like cocking a pistol, get that arm up. But that flow that he has now, back, stepping back, and stepping through to the catcher is what you'd want any pitcher to do.
First pitch to Clint Barmas in for a strike. And now Perez must split his attention with Taveras at first base. Willie Taveras with 39 steals on the year. He's only been caught 4 times. Oliver has walked 3, struck out 7, allowed just 1 hit. And Barmas pops it up. Shallow right center. And Beltran in to grab it. 2 out. Barmas wasn't sticking around to take enough pitches for Taveras to run, and so Matt Holliday comes up with 2 out and a runner at first.
Well, I think the key is you see Taveras stolen bases, 39, leads Reyes by 7. I think the counter to this for Perez doesn't have a great move to first base, but he has that slide step. So really the only way Taveras is going to be able to steal is to go on first movement. And that would be a chance for Perez to pick him off if he can anticipate or guess the right time to go over there.
Holliday is 0 for 2, and he swings and misses late on the fastball. So if you're Clint Hurdle, do you put a hold on Taveras when you have Holliday up in this spot? Guys likely to get an extra base hit.
94 pitches yet. I would. I absolutely would. I think this is an instant where Taveras should stay where he is. See if Holliday can hit one in the gap. He's certainly going to score if he does.
Takes a fastball off the plate. It's 1-1. Here's your pitcher's high speed, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Call 1-877-4-FIOS-TV. Perez was hitting the gun early at 95, 96 consistently. Cooled down a little. 1-1 to Holliday. Schneider moves inside. Perez throws to first. Perez not getting a huge lead. Holiday takes low and inside. 2-1. Perez has done a great job controlling Matt Holliday. He's 2 for 16 against him. Perez takes an extra quarter step. Not going, and the 2-1 fastball. Holliday swings through it, and it's 2-2.
It's very interesting. Holliday seems to have a much bigger swing against Perez. He gets in these hitting situations and he gets big. That's what they call hitters who are trying to hit the ball in the gap or deep, and not enough bat speed when Perez is up in that 95-mile-an-hour range.
Late on a couple of those fastballs. Now it's 2-2 to Holliday. He's looking at his feet.
I think you got to take a chance out of the strike zone.
Snyder moves inside. 2-2. Fouled away. Came with the fastball. Necessarily get it where he wanted, but he threw it hard.
Well, I know Schneider's wants him to throw that ball in. Let's watch Perez as he falls through on this pitch. He's got a ball back up the middle. Is going to get him in the middle of the numbers. But a pitch up and out of the strike zone would be a nice pitch here. If he can elevate it about shoulder high.
Again, Schneider moves inside. And he throws it inside and just missed. I think that's one Perez thought he might get. Now it's 3-2. And now Perez about to throw his 100th pitch of the night. Here with 2 out in the 6th. Locked in a 1-1 duel with Aaron Cook.
Trying with the signs. Chest, knees, chest, face mask. Giving multiple signs.
Perez gets set to run. 3-2 to Holliday. Way outside, and the Rockies have 2 men on. So Perez unable to put away Matt Holliday, and now he'll have to deal with Garrett Atkins, the best hitter in the league against left-handed pitching, and a guy who has tormented Oliver in the past. Atkins hit one very hard his last time up, but right at David Wright for a 5-4-3 double play. So a big spot in this game for Oliver Perez at 100 pitches for the day. 2 on and 2 out, and the cleanup hitter Atkins at the plate. And Atkins takes high for ball 1.
Well, the problem when you have just one pitch working, he hasn't thrown a lot of changeups, has not thrown very good sliders, or not a lot of them. You're pitching with one pitch. As it gets later in the game, you lose some of that snap on that fastball.
And he bounces the slider. 2-0. And Schneider and Delgado are both going to head to the mound. Dan Warthen's going to head to the phone. So after John Main threw 109 pitches in 4 2/3 yesterday, Oliver Perez at 102 now with 2 outs in the 6th. And trying to coax himself through this inning.
Well, you would never usually do this, but 2-0 count as Aaron Hammond gets up. 2-0 count. You don't want to throw a cookie in here to Atkins. You got Iannetta, who's, not right now at this point in his career half the hitter that Atkins is. You don't ever want to load the bases, but you don't want to just throw a cookie to a great hitter.
And he misses just outside. 3-0. So having walked 2 in the inning, now Perez finds himself behind Atkins, who might well be swinging here on 3-0. So a dicey spot here for Ollie. And the fastball inside for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So 3 walks in the inning. And now Chris Iannetta comes to bat in a game-breaking situation. Iannetta has grounded out on a check swing to Delgado. and then struck out. Pedro Feliciano up alongside Heilman in case we get to Brad Hopp and his left-handed bat.
In their inaction by Jerry Manuel and the pitching coach to go out and talk to Oliver Perez, I think it speaks loudly.
Ball 1 to Iannetta.
They're trying to show him that we believe in you. We believe you can right this ship. We believe you can get out of this inning.
Got a big pitch to make here on 1-0, and a swing and a miss. Actually, Iannetta got a piece of that, fouled it. 1-1.
Well, good pitch to hit here by Iannetta, who just missed it with that slight little uppercut that he has.
Chris Iannetta out of the University of North Carolina.
Now they've had some good players come out of there. From Scott Bradley to B.J. Surhoff to Walt Weiss.
B.J. was a catcher at North Carolina, like Iannetta. 1-1 on the way. And a high fly ball hit to left center field. Easy for Beltran. And so Oliver Perez walks 3 in the inning, but gets the big out as Iannetta flies out. Perez has allowed 1 hit through 6, and the Mets and Rockies are even. After Hopp's home run gave the Rockies a brief lead. 1-0 to Easley. The starting lineup for the National League in the '64 All-Star game here at Shea. Roberto Clemente leading off. Wow. And playing right field. Dick Grote at shortstop. Billy Williams in left field. Willie Mays in center field. Orlando Cepeda at first base. Ken Boyer at third base. Joe Torre catching. Ron Hunt at second base, and Don Drysdale pitching. Wow. It's a good lineup.
Go get him. Well, Roberto Clemente leading off.
Yeah,
come on.
Pretty good. How about the American League team? How about this? This will stick in the craw of every Met fan. Jim Fregosi leading off and playing shortstop. Tony Oliva in right field. Mickey Mantle in center. Harmon Killebrew in left. Bob Allison at first base. Normally an outfielder, right?
Yeah.
3-1 to Easley. Brooks Robinson at third. Bobby Richardson at second. Elston Howard catching. And Dean Chance, the starting pitcher for the American League in that '64 All-Star game.
Dean Chance had a nice year in '67, didn't he? The Twins.
He there's a ball 4, and Easley is on with a walk. In '65, he won the Cy Young.
Yeah.
Dean Chance, and that was back in the days when there was only 1 Cy Young. Phillies got 2 in the 6th, 1 on a wild pitch, and 1 on, I believe it was on the back end of an attempted double steal. To get some clarification on that, with a runner thrown out, but the run crossed the plate. Anyway, the Phillies get 2 and go ahead 3-1 as they go to the 7th. So there's the first walk of the night issued by Aaron Cook. He's now thrown 83 pitches, so he's already thrown more in this game than he did in that 9-inning affair against San Diego 2 starts back. Delgado has doubled and grounded out, 1 for 2. Carlos with 447 Major League home runs. Easley has not attempted a stolen base this year. Delgado swings and misses at the fastball, 0-1.
Well, something you usually won't see from Cook, a fastball up in the strike zone. You would think that for Delgado, Cook would be a pretty good matchup. The ball is going to be down most of the time, but fooled him with that pitch.
Left-hand hitters have hit .287 against Aaron Cook this year. For all his success, and part of it has to do with pitching at Coors Field, he has given up more hits than any pitcher in the National League. He's also pitched the second most innings behind Cole Hamels.
Well, he doesn't walk anyone. When he gets in those situations where it's 3-1, he will give you a pitch to put in play.
1-1. Delgado watches it wide. 2-1. And that'll send Iannetta out to the mound to talk to Cook.
67, Dean Chance had 20 wins, 20-14 that season.
Take the train to Shea tomorrow as the series with the Colorado Rockies continues at 3:55 p.m. Mass transit is the faster, easier, greener, and more economical way to Shea. Get to Mets.com now for your tickets. 64 chance won the Cy Young. 20-9, 1.65 for the season. Now that's good. That got him in the All-Star game. 2-1 to Delgado and a call strike 2-2. I think. I remember the first year they had 2 Cy Young awards. Might have been 67.
Well, good backdoor slider. Let's see, look at it from up top. Yeah, that catches a little part of that outside part of the plate.
Two.
Line shot. Foul ball. Very, very close.
Chuck Merriweather, the first base umpire, emphatically signaling foul, but Delgado just missed an extra base hit that might have given the Mets the lead.
Wow. How do you see that? Well, Chuck Merriweather right on it. And it was just foul. Yeah, from this angle, it's almost impossible to tell.
Got it right, though. Two, foul back.
That would be tougher than making that call as a referee umpire in the Nadal Federer match on the grass.
Of course, they have the electric eye for the tennis matches. Not yet here. This will be the 90th pitch of the night for Aaron Cook. By the way, Dean Chance winning the Cy Young in '64. It's the only thing that stood between Koufax winning 4 in a row. Koufax won it in '63, '65, and '66. Two. Line the other way. Moving back is Holiday to make the grab. And back to first goes Easley. Well, that's a great turn at bat right there for Delgado. But he comes up empty as Holiday reels in the line drive.
And as you watch more and more, especially the last month or so, but really in this month, everything Delgado hits is hit hard. I mean, line drive after line drive off the bat of Carlos. Bob Apodaca out to speak to Mr. Cook. I think they want to talk about a couple things. One, Tatis has been red hot. Brian Schneider, even though he got a base hit in his last time at bat, certainly not as hot as Tatis is right now. So Bob Apodaca, of course, a great pitching coach for the Rockies, with his instructions.
Philadelphia, Emilio Bonifacio, first hit of the season. 2-run pinch hit double for the Diamondbacks. They tie up the Phillies in the 7th, 3-3. Fernando Tatis with 2 out and a runner at first. Takes one at the knees for a strike. Tatis is flying to right and grounded to short 0 for 2. That was Emilio Bonifacio.
Love it.
Going outside. That's another young player for the Diamondbacks, 23-year-old outfielder.
It's very interesting here. It looks like Cook's going after Tatis with sliders. You guys can remember in Philadelphia that game-winning home run from Chad Durbin was a slider that stayed on the inner part of the plate. Might be playing into Tatis' strength.
Easley with a hand back to the bag.
Sometimes you think you got to pitch around a guy by throwing breaking balls, but sometimes it comes. You can't do that to a good breaking ball hitter. What I think Fernando is.
Swing and a foul tip, and that one caught the home plate umpire. Rookie walking it off. There's that score in Philadelphia. Emilio Bonifacio. I could say that all day.
Good. You feel like you're speaking a beautiful language.
Exactly. Easley at first with 2 down. Game tied at 1 in the bottom of the 6th. Hooks 1-2, and Tatis bounces one over the mound. Nix with a sidearm toss on target. Well, he is a good fielder, isn't he? That's a really good play by Jason Nix, the rookie, as he throws out Tatis from the other side of the bag and made it look pretty easy. Still tied as we go to the 7th. 7th inning, Jeff Baker leads off against Oliver Perez.
You know, to add something to that, I played in that tournament last season. It is beautifully run. If you haven't played any of the courses at Bethpage, of course, Bethpage Black, the most famous, where they have the U.S. Open, it's just a great day at a great golf course for a great cause, and they get some of the great New York sports heroes from many decades there for that event.
And it honors the memory of a terrific guy. Sean was just as delightful as they came. Pushing the envelope with Perez, his 110th pitch as he starts the 7th inning, and it's 2-1 now to Jeff Baker with Brad Hopp and Jason Nix to follow. The Mets keep the bullpen busy behind Perez. Baker lined out to right his last time, and he pops up foul. Pedro Feliciano, Aaron Heilman up in the Mets bullpen. You got the left hand hitting Hop on deck, and then the right hand hitting Nix. Manny Corpus, the former Colorado closer, is starting to loosen as we get toward the bottom of the order. 2-2, shot foul, and it's still 2-2.
It's very interesting. Jerry was asked about the roles for his bullpen, and he went right through it, didn't he? Talked about, of course, Sanchez is the 8th inning, Billy the 9th. But he said that Aaron Holland, when Sanchez is not available, he can pitch at the end of games the way he's throwing in the month of July, June and July.
2-2, slider in the dirt, 3-2.
Muniz will be the long guy. He'll go with the hottest left-hander. Right now it's Schoenweiss, but he said Feliciano needs an inning.
And that was the interesting thing about it. He said he's going to go with the hot hand, so he's kind of gone away from Feliciano, but needs to get him in. But here he is warming up to come into what could be a very important situation in this game, not getting him in there in a lesser spot. And that's ball 4, and Baker's on with a leadoff walk. So Jerry Manuel allowed Perez to start this 7th inning, and he may well be done now. See what they decide to do. 114 pitches in. That's the 6th walk that Perez has allowed. And Jerry on the top step, but not coming out. So he's leaving him in to face the guy who hit a home run against him his last time up. Showed a lot of confidence in Oliver as Brad Hopp steps in and takes a strike.
Well, that's an interesting move, and that's a move that after this hanging slider to the Hop, that's a move that people will look at after the game. But I still think, just like last inning, they didn't go out to talk to him with the bases loaded. I think they are trying to instill in Oliver that they're trying not to be a top of the step of the dugout manager when he's pitching.
That was his 116th pitch, and that matches the most he's thrown in a game this year. And you know, these are the moves that managers are judged by. If Hop gets a big hit here, then it's the wrong move. If Oliver gets him out, then it's the right move. Fastball, and it misses 2-1. But the bottom line is that Oliver's had a great fastball today, and it's allowed only 1 hit.
And it's a confidence-inspiring move if he's able to get the out. Other thing we have to look at with the All-Star break, Oliver's going to have extra days off, so maybe you can push the envelope a little bit.
And it's low and inside to Hop. And now Perez behind 3-1. And this will almost certainly be his final batter.
Just got to tell yourself right here, execute a pitch. It's not very good on that pitch down and away. Make a fastball down there. Let him hit yourself a ground ball and turn 2.
3-1. Hit on the ground, base hit into right field. Baker to second, turns there and holds as Chavez gets to it quickly. And the Rockies have the first two men on in the seventh, and Jerry Manuel pops out of the dugout. So he gave Oliver a shot to face the first two batters in the seventh, but a walk and a base hit have put two men aboard for the Rockies, and that'll spell the end of Oliver Perez's night after a season high 119 pitches. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by T-Mobile. Stick together. Perez done after 6 innings plus. Aaron Heilman pops out of the Mets bullpen to try and keep it tied. Perez done after 6 innings plus. The Mets are going to the bullpen. Oliver threw a season high 119 pitches, allowed just 2 hits, both of them to Brad Hopp. Walked 6, struck out 7, leaves with 2 runners on, and Aaron Heilman comes on.
Probably coming off his best effort in the rain game. Came in for Santana, pitched 2 perfect innings with 2 strikeouts.
Jason Nix, the number 8 hitter, up. Mets look for the bunt with the pitcher due up next, and Seth Smith on deck to pinch hit. Nix bunts one in front of the plate. Delgado will field, and he'll go to first. So the sacrifice successful for Nix. And now the Rockies with 2 in scoring position. 3-4 on the sacrifice.
Well, Nix so far a pretty well-schooled player. Heilman doesn't get off that mound, so Delgado makes the play. No place to go except first base.
So now Seth Smith, who was just recalled from AAA Colorado Springs a couple of days ago when Ryan Spilborghs went on the disabled list. You might recall earlier this year, a game that John Maine pitched against Aaron Cook. Smith hit a 3-run homer that was responsible for all the runs against Maine. And he bats here with 2 in scoring position. Now the Mets in the 7th inning of a tie game willing to give up 1 but not 2. So they'll play the middle infielders back as Feliciano stays ready. This is wide, 2-0. Now, if you're thinking fill the empty base, the problem you run into there is that the on-deck hitter, Willie Taveras, is impossible to double up.
No, you have to get this out here. Even if it costs you a run, you got a good throwing arm in center field, excellent in right field. Left field, you have the infielder's arm of Tatis.
Fouled away, and it's 2-1 to Smith. Seth Smith was a huge boon to the Rockies last year, coming down the stretch of the season and into the postseason, when they made their incredible run. Bob Apodaca talks it over with Aaron Cook, who leaves after 6 innings. Smith went 5 for 8 down the stretch of the season, pinch hitting for Colorado coming up in September, and they kept him on the playoff roster, and he hit 500 in the postseason. 2-1. Checks his swing and takes it outside. 3-1. Seth Smith, who was backup to Eli Manning at Ole Miss, quarterback, teammate of Todd Helton, who was a backup to Peyton Manning at Tennessee.
Wow. Everything away from Heilman. Does he try to come in 3-1, try to jam Smith, who's only seen pitches away?
On 3-1, Smith takes ball 4, and now the bases are loaded for Taveras. So now I think you've got to play the infield in.
Yes.
You just can't hope to double up Taveras unless you're just going to try and get an out at second and concede a run.
Plus, Taveras has so many infield hits that he does not hit the ball hard. I think it's a play that, as they're looking at the charts, Jerry and Sandy, Ken Oberfeld, lending a hand, trying to figure out what defensive play they're going to play. It looks like Reyes and Easley playing about halfway, just a little 2 steps short of double play depth.
Taveras 1 for 3 in his career against Heilman. Bases loaded, 1 out, tie game, 7th inning. Taveras 0 for 2 and a walk today. Met pitchers have now walked 7. And Taveras takes a strike on the outside edge. Good fastball by Heilman to start him off.
Baker is not a fast runner on third base, and in fact, when they were in Colorado, made some base running mistakes. So if you come forward, Reyes and Easley, you come to the plate.
Slider swung and missed.
That's what Jerry Manuel talked about. That's not a good slider, but that's all right because he never throws it. Hitters don't expect it, so he gets away with it.
Now he can throw him anything he wants. 0-2 to Taveras. And he goes with another slider and misses. 1-2. Clint Barmes waits on deck.
Still got to take another shot. Last shot here, but he got to take one more shot out of the strike zone. Taveras, one of those hitters that loves to just poke that ball to the right side when he's behind the count.
Spot where Heilmann could really use a strikeout. In the dirt. And now it's 2-2. So now the game plan changes.
Yes.
Baker is the lead run at third. Hop at second and Smith at first with one out. Not a whole lot of running speed out there in any of those spots.
You need a strikeout or contact here. You can't go 3-2.
Two to Taveras. Just got a piece. Good fastball by Heilmann, and Taveras wasted it.
Nice pitching. Nice hitting. Oliver watching. Fastball, just not a good swing. The pitch beat him, but that's why this is Major League Baseball. You make the perfect pitch and it doesn't work out.
So he's got to do it again. Nervous ripple here at Shea. Two.
In there for a call, strike 3. Taveras down looking, 2 men down.
Well, no use arguing that pitch. That is a good pitch. Caught plenty of the plate inside. Enough for the knees, and with 2 strikes should be more aggressive there. Good pitch.
No question it had enough plate. The only question was at the knees or below, and Bill Welke said it was a strike, and now there are 2 out. And Clint Barmes the batter. Barmes 0 for 2 and a walk, so now the infield can drop back. And Barmes grounds the first pitch foul, 0-1.
Only difference between Aaron Heilmann of the last month and a half and the first part of the season is the use of the slider, and his pitches are down.
Well, it's enabled him to not be as predictable.
Yes.
He's thrown, what, 1 changeup so far?
There's a good one, too.
0-1 to Barmes.
Swing and a miss at the high fastball, 97 on the gun. That's as hard a pitch as Heilmann's ever thrown as a man.
That's country hardball, rearing back and throwing as hard as you can. Fisher biting.
Ross got a piece. As again, Heilmann came upstairs with that fastball. What a boon to this team if Heilmann can keep it in gear.
Well, a little better swing by Barmes. A little more on that fastball. Should signal to both Schneider and Heilmann. Should be set up for anything down. Slider down and away. Changeup down, though. Can afford to throw a ball.
He struck him out. Aaron Heilmann with back-to-back strikeouts, and the Rockies are turned aside.
There's Wagner up in the pen. Just think of what Corpus meant to the Rockies down the stretch. From August 31st on, a span of 16 straight games, they won every single one of them. Retired 21 consecutive batters in that period.
Brian Schneider fouls one off the end of the bat. Schneider scored the only Met run tonight. He singled in the 5th, alertly took second when the ball was bobbled in right by Brad Hopp, and eventually came home on a 2-out hit by Reyes. What an incredible job by Aaron Heilman. Striking out back-to-back hitters to pin the go-ahead run at third. 0-2. Schneider bounces one past the mound. Corpus, fortunately for him, did not get a hand on it, and then Barmes doesn't get the glove on it, and Schneider's safe at first. Well, Barmes has made 2 outstanding plays tonight, but a much more routine play eludes his grasp.
And you see this play made a lot because the infielder is coming towards the bag. He's conscious of stepping on that second base bag, and sometimes your eyes come up a little, and he came up just enough for that ball to go underneath his glove.
So it's an error on Clint Barmes, and the Mets have the lead run aboard. Now Argenis Reyes comes out of the dugout. Nick Evans will also come in the game to run for Brian Schneider. Now the Mets made a player move today. They designated for assignment outfielder Chris Aguila and brought back up their third catcher Robinson Cancel. And Jerry Manuel said before the game today it was explicitly for this kind of a situation so that he can pinch run for one of his slow-footed catchers late in the close game.
Pinch run, and also it frees up Castro's bat late in the game off a left-handed reliever. Fuentes, left-handed stopper for the Rockies.
So Argenis Reyes up there to pinch hit. See if the Mets ask him to bunt here at the bottom of the 7th in a tie game. Reyes got his first big league start yesterday and went 1 for 5. And he squares and bunts it right to the third baseman Atkins, who makes the throw to first. So the sacrifice successful. A hard bunt, but right along the line. 5-3 on the sacrifice, moving Evans to second.
The shortstop.
Well, Reyes gets the job done, handing it off to Reyes. There are Kings. Jose is driven in the only Met run with a 5th inning single. He's 2 for 3, a single and a double. Evans at second and 1 out. And Reyes takes a strike from Corpus. Well, the Mets took advantage of the first Colorado error when they scored their run in the 5th, trying to take advantage of the second Colorado error here in the 7th. To Jose, and he takes it low, 1-1.
Taveras in center field, fair arm. Halladay in left field, fair arm. Hop in right field, outstanding arm.
Andy Chavez waiting on deck. Evans not with great speed, but better than average at second base. Reyes with 41 RBIs now out of the leadoff spot. And a breaking ball swung and missed. Good slider by Corpus, 1-2.
Corpus gives you a lot of motion, and that ball not only slides but has such differential in speed from his fastball to his slider.
Juaner Sanchez getting ready to pitch the 8th inning, hoping the Mets can hand him a lead. Boy, would Aaron Heilman be a deserving recipient of that. 1-2 to Reyes. And Corpus just missed. 2-2. Tough pitch to hit, tough pitch to take.
You know, Gary, you were talking about Evans, the rookie runner at second base. That's the only problem you have with rookies coming in to run, because there has to be an element of, I don't want to mess up.
2-2. Popped up foul, coming back out of play. Barmes is paying so much attention to Evans at second base. It's really opening up that shortstop hole.
And I think it's important for Evans to have a feel for where Barmes is behind him, so he'll know if a ball is in that hole, because you know if it's in front of you, you're not supposed to proceed to third. But he's so close that he's got to recognize that, feel that wherever he is, Barmes is, so any ball to his right hit hard, he can proceed and score.
Diamondbacks have added a run in Philadelphia. Lead at 5-3 as they head for the bottom of the 8th. Let's see Barmes shading way over to keep an eye on Evans. Check swing foul. Reyes upset with himself for that bat getting in the way of ball 3.
Nothing he can do here, though. He's trying to cover the whole plate. That ball had a lot of movement. It was going to be high in the strike zone, but it came back over the plate. We saw Reyes on the slider away with that beautiful hitting it inside out, shooting to the left. Might get a slider here. See if he can do the same thing.
2-2 to Jose. And he hits it in the air to right field. Playable for Hop. Evans tagging at second, but he's going to try it.
Hop with the throw, and Atkins has to come off the bag, and Evans is safe. A little surprised with 1 out to see Evans try it against the strong arm of Hop, but he makes it successfully.
Well, sometimes innocence is bliss as Evans takes off on the good strong arm of Hop. And I think even in a way Hop was surprised. Good tag up by Nick. And again, aggressive. Don't know if it's the best play, but it's an aggressive play by these Mets.
Well, now it's not actually a bad play considering who's coming up, because Andy Chavez, as we well know, loves to bunt for hits in this situation. In fact, right now the second baseman Nix and the first baseman Baker talking about it because they're aware that Andy is a bunt threat in this situation.
And both Baker and Atkins in at the corners.
So that gives Andy a little more to shoot for to try and hit it by him.
Luis Aguayo also in Nick Evans' ear, letting him know to be alive.
So the go-ahead run at third with 2 down. Andy had an infield hit his last time, up 1 for 3 on the night. And he swings and tops one, and Corpus will take it to the bag himself to end the inning. 1 unassisted. The Mets now 1 out of 7 with runners in scoring position. We head for the 8th. Still tied 1-1. Grounded down to third. Right waits on the hop and throws out Holiday. 1 out. Holiday grounds out. Halladay 7 complete games out of 54 that have been thrown in the majors this year.
Yeah, and he's on a pace for 12, 13 complete games, which is unheard of today's day and age.
1 walk, 8 strikeouts for Halladay. A-Rod singled in the 4th, Jeter doubled in the 9th, and that was it. Garrett Atkins 0 for 2. Flied out, hit into a double play and walked. And takes inside from Sanchez.
The Yankees now have scored 3 runs or less 32 times this season.
Well, the good news for the Yankees is that the Rays have stopped scoring. They're getting shut out in Cleveland tonight, 5-0 in the 8th.
Is that Mr. Lee pitching tonight?
He has been unbelievable. What has he got, 11-1?
11-1. Oh, maybe 11-2. He might have lost his last start.
I thought he...
Maybe no decision, maybe?
I thought no decision, but check. 2-1 to Atkins. Taylor Buchholz, who has been money for the Rockies this year, up in the bullpen. And Atkins takes outside 3-1.
Look at that hat of Twaner Sanchez. It's all the rosin behind the mound.
It's not up behind the mound anymore.
No, it's on his hat.
All of it.
Ugh.
Ball 4, and Atkins is on with a 1-out walk. You were correct about Cliff Lee, by the way, 11-2. Soon to be 12-2.
The catcher, Chris Iannetta.
Well, the Mets have been very fortunate with Perez and now Sanchez walking the hitter here. You know, all these walks have not hurt them so far.
As things catch up to you, though. 8 walks now on the night. 6 by Perez, 1 by Howman, and now 1 for Sanchez. Iannetta 0 for 3. He was the biggest out of this game for Oliver Perez. Bases loaded in the 6th. He got Iannetta to fly out. Then in the 7th with the bases loaded, Heilman struck out Taveras and Barmes. So the Rockies have left the bases full each of the last 2 innings.
Line to short, past Reyes into left field, a base hit. Atkins to second, and the Rockies have 2 men on. That ball was hit so hard Reyes could barely reach before that ball was by him.
First baseman Jeff Baker.
Yeah, it's almost like he was trying to decide whether he was going to go back and try to leap for it or leap at that time, and didn't do either, but it didn't matter. That was a screamer off the bat of Iannetta.
I think I said Sanchez pitching 3 straight days for the first time. It's the second time this season.
Okay.
Also did back in early last week, the 4th, 5th, and 6th of July. So he's doing it twice in a very short period of time, pitching 3 days in a row. Pedro Feliciano up in the Mets bullpen with the left-hand hitter Hop on deck. Jeff Baker is 0 for 2 and a walk. So the Rockies are getting base runner after base runner after base runner, but the only run they've scored was on a solo home run. Atkins at second and Ionetta at first with 1 out. And Baker swings and misses. 1-1.
Good slider on the outside part. Looked like Baker had that Ruthian cut. Baker, of course, we're in the middle of that big streak when the Mets came in town of home runs.
Homered in 4 straight games. Changeup misses. 2-1. Speaking of pitchers and shutouts and lots of wins, Kyle Loesch 11-2. Cardinals shut out the Pirates tonight 6-0.
Wasn't signed till spring training.
Anybody could have had him.
Anybody.
Big pitch to make here for Sanchez on 2-1.
Grounded to the right side. Easley to his left. Gets the out at second. Reyes bobbles it. The out counts. He bobbled it on the transfer, according to the second base umpire Marvin Hudson. The Mets will take that, but would look like a surefire double play. Keeps the inning alive instead.
Beautifully played. Look at the footwork of Easley. Perfect throw. And Reyes trying to, I think, just trying to get rid of that quickly. He knew it was going to be a bang-bang play at first. One hand here.
That's a good call.
Cross the bag and the transfer. And that was a good call. We've seen many times when that hasn't been a good call. Good call there.
Jerry Manuel out to the mound, so the inning continues with 1st and 3rd and 2 out with the left-hand hitter Hop coming up. Feliciano comes into a big spot here in the 8th inning. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by T-Mobile. Stick together. Feliciano coming in to face Brad Hop.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Sterling Mets and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Sterling Mets.
Pedro Feliciano comes on to pitch for the 48th time this year.
Well, he hasn't pitched at Sunday. He's had 9 strikeouts in his last 6 innings. None any bigger than Sunday, when after the 2-hour and 50-minute rain delay came on to strike out Ryan Howard.
Now he comes in to face Brad Hop. 1st and 3rd and 2 out. Hop has 2 of the 3 Rockies hits today, including a home run in the 5th inning that's accounted for their only run. Rockies left the bases loaded in the 6th, left the bases loaded in the 7th. They have 1st and 3rd and 2 out here in the 8th. And Feliciano misses with the fastball. 2-0.
This has really been Pedro's problem in the last few outings, is that he's been getting behind the hitters.
There's nobody up in the Mets bullpen. And it's 3-0. I'm a little surprised not to see Joe Smith up there with the right-hand hitting Nix on deck. But the Mets bullpen is empty. Now it's 3-0 to Hop. And he takes a strike.
Well, against Perez in a similar spot, 3-1, fastball away. This is probably what Feliciano is going to throw. Hit one in the hole. Maybe nice for Easley to move over a couple of steps.
3-1, fastball outside, ball 4, bases loaded. 3rd straight inning, the Rockies have loaded the bases. The number 8 hitter Jason Nix coming up. Dan Warthen heading for the mound. Feliciano will be staying in to face him.
Second baseman Jason Nix.
Negotiate yet another tight spot. That is 9 walks by Met pitching tonight. It's not often that you survive that kind of an effort and give up only 1 run in 8 innings.
Well, Jerry getting on the phone now, so someone's going to be shaking it loose out there.
Well, Most of the Rockies bench is left-handed. You would beat Torrealba. Maybe Joe Smith isn't available tonight, which might have been why he wasn't up for this spot. Joe didn't pitch last night. He pitched 2 nights ago. Closed out the 5-0 win against the Giants on Wednesday. Bases loaded, 2 down. Nix is 0 for 1. And he takes a slider way off the plate. And Feliciano really struggling with his command. And he's got no room in which to operate.
Yeah, this is where you just have to honestly throw a sinker, keep it down, catch a lot of plate. Hope that Nix gets himself out.
Well, you got a rookie hitting 118 at the plate, and Nix hits it off the end of the bat right down to Delgado, and for the 3rd straight inning, the Rockies do not score and strand 3. How about that? Feliciano gets the big out when he needs it. We head for the bottom of the 8th, still tied at 1. The Rockies have left the bases loaded 3 innings in a row. And Wright tries to hold it, and he did. Chuck Merriweather gives him a pass. Wow, that was usually you don't get away with this.
Let's see where the bat goes. Boy, it looks a lot better on the replay than it did in live action.
Those are some strong wrists right there.
Yeah, man.
It's been a good day for David off the field, named to the All-Star team, trying to make it a good day for himself on the field. He swings and misses at the fastball, and Buchholz has the first out of the bottom of the 8th.
Well, 3 straight curveballs, and then elevates that high fastball. Hard to hit when those kind of pitches are thrown at you.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Carlos Beltran, who's 0 for 3, struck out, grounded out, popped up. And he takes wide ball 1. Honestly, Ronnie, I can't remember the last time I saw a team not score in 3 straight innings and leave the bases loaded in all 3.
Well, Clint Hurdle in between innings was shaking his head. He's not seen it either.
Beltran gets under one. Shallow right field. Nix going out. Hop coming in. And Nix will take charge. 2 out. So Buchholz has come in and gotten the first 2. And now he'll take on Damion Easley, who is 1 for 2 and a walk. A single to right back in the 4th. Easley pops the first pitch foul, back and out of play. Damion is a guy who kind of specializes in these spots, or has, in terms of late innings, nobody on base, looking for that pitch he can hit it out of the ballpark. But he's hit only 2 home runs this year. His power numbers are a little bit down as his batting average has gone up. Breaking ball off the plate. 1-1.
Well, he's been asked to play every day. So when you play every day, you're more of a situational hitter. You're more of a get the rally started, keep the bus moving kind of hitter. Last year, using a lot of situations where you take a shot at an extra base hit.
1-1. Breaking ball outside. 2-1.
And this is a situation right here. 2 outs. 2-1 count. You got to think you're going to get a fastball from Buchholz.
And Easley swings at it and fouls it back. Fastball well placed outside. 2-2.
Right on the corner. Damion was ready. Just needed the center of that ball.
Well, that's how you have the kind of season that Buchholz has had. He has been just about perfect. He has given up 2 home runs this year. And the breaking ball high, and now a full count to Easley with Delgado on deck. Delgado has a home run in his career against Taylor Buchholz.
I think right here is a veteran hitter. You're looking for a fastball. You're looking to drive the ball. You want to try to drive the ball in the gap, get an extra base hit, get in scoring position so Delgado can drive you in.
Rockies outfield playing deep, no doubles. 3-2. Breaking ball, foul back. Wasted that one. Let's see if he can get himself a fastball.
You know, that you just talked about. That's how you have great seasons out of the bullpen. Ability to throw 3-2 hook with 2 outs and a power hitter up next.
To Easley.
Drive in the air, deep left center field. Back goes Taveras to the warning track at the wall. It's out of here! Damion Easley gives the Mets the lead. His 3rd home run of the year. I'd call that situational hitting. 2-1 New York.
$25 guys to win games, but how about this fearsome foursome? Andy Chavez, Fernando Tatis, Damion Easley now with this great 3-2 fastball away right where he likes it, and that is a long home run to the almost the deepest part of the park.
Now the Mets irregulars continue to put together huge efforts. Castillo disabled list, Church disabled list, Alou out for the season, and their replacements help the Mets win day after day. Delgado fouls it back, and it's 1-1.
You know he loves the fastball up. He loves it away. And that is not a terrible pitch. That ball's the outer part, but everything was away during that entire at-bat. Able to reach out there just a little further, and look at that excitement. Hojo.
Damion Easley has had only 15 fewer at-bats this season than he had all of last season. Last year he had 10 home runs in 193 at-bats. This year he has only 3 in 178 at-bats. But that was a situation that cried out for him to think long ball, and he did.
Dial it up, boy.
2-1 to Delgado. Breaking ball in for a strike, 2-2. And Damion Easley has been playing this game for a long time. He came up with the Angels in 1992. 38 years old. And he knows how to play. 2-2. Bounced up the first baseline foul.
And don't forget that wonderful story Kevin gave us as he had that disastrous ankle injury last year. Kevin asked him, did you think at all about coming back, trying to get play in a championship team? He said, that's all I thought about.
Well, who knows how September might have been different last year if Easley had not gotten hurt. Two and 2 to Delgado. Too high. And Buchholz goes to 3-2. Taylor Buchholz giving up just his 3rd home run of the season. Easley hit a home run against the Angels, his original team, back on June 18th. That came in a huge spot. Breaking ball struck him out. Delgado down to end the inning, but Damion Easley's home run has given the Mets the lead. Billy Wagner will come on to try and save it. 1-1 game, 8th inning, big spot, and there is Damion Easley to ram one out of the ballpark. 2-1 New York as we go to the ninth.
We keep saying it all the time, don't we, Gary? This is a big save. This is a big save here after awesome game by the Mets.
Scott Pasednik takes a strike, and you know, Easley's home run will get the headlines, but the Mets have played this game almost perfectly. I mean, the pitching staff has walked 9. Reyes dropped a throw at second base, but just the way they have conducted themselves on the base paths, the big outs they've gotten from their relief pitchers. It's not always about scoring 10 runs. If you play the game the right way, it comes back to you.
It rewards you. Heilman, of course, getting strikeouts when you need strikeouts. Oliver Perez with a solid effort. 2 hustle doubles by Delgado and Reyes. Brian Schneider taking advantage of an error by right fielder Hop to score the first run to tie it up.
1-2 to Pasednik taken high. This is a guy you've got to get because Pasednik, especially with Wagner on the mound, if he gets on, he's running. Willie Taveras on deck, and then Clint Varmus here in the top of the 9th.
If you ever need a 1-2-3, this is it. Do not want to see Holiday.
Castro in to catch. Two.
On the outside corner, strike 3 call.
Well, tough to argue that. I mean, in a situation to try to get on base, a little too close to take, but the overhead is going to show it's a little outside, but not much. Pasednik's a good player, but he doesn't have that kind of eye.
So 1 out and nobody on, and now another base stealer comes to the plate, and Willie Taveras. Taveras 0 for 3 and a walk. And it's taken to the knees for a strike. On Tuesday, the Mets won 5-0. The Giants had 3 hits. On Wednesday, the Mets won 7-0. The Giants had 3 hits. Yesterday, the Mets won 7-3. The Giants had 3 hits. Today, the Mets are up 2-1 in the 9th, and the Rockies have 3 hits. Mets trying to win 7 in a row for the first time since August of '06. So many things going right for this team right now. 1-1, and Taveras fouls it off. 1-2. In the 9th in Philadelphia. Diamondbacks have a runner at 3rd and 2 out at the top of the 9th. And that inning is now over. They go to the bottom of the 9th, still tied at 5. Wagner ahead 1-2. Inside to Taveras, 2-2. If you're Wagner, you don't want to get to Matt Holliday, who is right behind Varmus. Literally. 2-2.
He struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Billy Wagner. 2 men down in the 9th.
Nice location here by Billy. Pitch down. After that pitch inside, offers another one inside. That pitch down just below the bat of Taveras, and with something on it.
So the Rockies are down to their final out. As soon as that strikeout was completed, Castro and Delgado both headed to the mound to talk to Wagner.
And I think this is a slap you on the back moment, say, hey, big man, we need to get this hitter right here. They got their stud on deck.
Varmus is 0 for 3 tonight. Holliday and his .343 average next. And Varmus taking all the way. It's ball 1. He knows the import of getting on base here and giving his team a chance. Varmus will hit the occasional home run, but that's not his game. 1-0.
Lifted in the air to right center. Beltran has it lined up. And the ball game is over. Billy Wagner throws a 1-2-3 ninth for the save. Damion Easley with a clutch home run in the 8th inning. And for the 4th straight game, Met pitchers have allowed only 3 hits as the Mets put together their first 7-game winning streak since August of 2006.
Well, 15-9 under skipper Jerry Manuel. Back-to-back good games from Billy Wagner. And celebration all around for the Mets as everyone playing a big role in this team's 7-game winning streak.
Well, the Mets play themselves a tight game tonight. And they move to 5 games over 500 for the first time this season. Mets are now 49-44, and for the moment a game behind the Phillies, who are still playing in the 9th inning. The game summary brought to you by Jeep. Pedro Feliciano got one king-sized out in the top of the 8th, and he winds up as the winner. Wagner saves it. Damion Easley's 3rd home run of the year with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th, the game winner, as the Mets have now won 7 straight with 2 games to go till the All-Star break. Kevin Burkhardt is standing by with tonight's hero.
When you were in Arizona in the offseason, wondering how your ankle was coming back and just thinking about, what was next for you, did moments like this, thinking about moments like this happening, get you through it?
Well, I tell you what, I don't look for these opportunities, and when I get them, I definitely want to do the job, and it feels good to get the job done.
How much fun are you having playing the game right now?
I'm having a blast. You forget what it's like to be out there every day when you're on the bench, and then when an opportunity comes and you get to get out there every single day, I remember, and it feels good.